know, we had Mia testifying as a recent witness, you know. It was the testimony's kind of dragged out, kind of long. It went for a few days. Sometimes that could play on the jury in a bad way, in a good way sometimes as well. Because people are, you know, they get tired. You see the jury not listening. Because like at the end of the last day of the testimony, they were showing videos that Mia had from her past and stuff like that. And it was showing like the jury wasn't even writing, taking notes and things like that. It seemed like they was becoming very disassociated with Mia's testimony. You know what I mean? I don't mean that it also takes away from, you know what I mean, her being a victim allegedly, just because she's getting caught up in inconsistencies. I don't know, you know what I mean? But it's a lot with that. This situation is a complex case. One thing, you know what I mean? Diddy is innocent until proven guilty, regardless of anything that we're listening to in there. He's innocent until proven guilty. That's what they say in the law, regardless of the fact. You know, but it's really hard to say, like, hear a lot of things and testimonies from a lot of the witnesses. But then, like I said, the defense also is battling back, and they bring up certain inconsistencies within a lot of the witnesses, right? So a lot of witnesses in the beginning, when they spoke to the government, they didn't say a lot of things that Diddy did, and he did this and he did that. But then later in time, they start speaking. They say, "Oh, yo, he was on the slopes. He wilding. Yo, I had to put my arm in his chest like this. I was on my baby." You know what I mean? You had to do all of this stuff, but you ain't seen that before. So I sit back thinking like, yo, what happened? Did you get paid off before? Did you want some money before? That's why you ain't saying nothing? Or what? Is you trying to say something now because what? You don't want to get caught up because you was part of something too? And everybody's just trying to point a finger at Diddy now? So I don't know. Sometimes people are just, I think, a victim of their own success, their own selves too as well, right? Sometimes you just don't like a person for the reason you don't like a person. You know Diddy saying, take that. Take that. You not saying, you know what, Diddy? Your turn to take that, Diddy. We reversing the role. I don't know what people don't like Diddy for. But let us all try to be as unbiased as we can, even though we all gonna have our bias. Put it all on the table. Let the evidence speak. That's what I say. You know, my heart goes out to any victim, any potential victim. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but sometimes, you know, I think the waters get muddied up when some people are on a clout chase. I don't know who is or what. But when other people come out and fake being a victim, they actually mess it up for people that's real victims. You know what I'm saying? People that really want the help. People that's really trying to cry out and get that help. So, you know what I mean? If you are a real victim, heart goes out to you. And hopefully, you know what I mean, you can get the help that you need. You know what I mean? Reach out, probably speak to someone. Sometimes we think we don't know what we can do. But sometimes lifting your voice is the strongest thing, and it's the realest weapon that you can have is speaking to somebody. Maybe telling a friend, maybe telling them up, maybe telling somebody, because a lot of times when you're going through abuses, you come to a point where sometimes you're embarrassed to speak about it. You don't want to say nothing because you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed that you even in the situation that you're probably in, and you could be a prisoner of your own situation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different abuses. It's mental abuse, it's physical abuse, and emotional abuse, it's financial abuses, people holding money over your head. There's so many things. And we know that Cassie went through a lot of different abuses. Regardless of what people think she liked or she didn't, she did go through a lot of different abuses. Cassie was still yet in this trial. She's still the strongest witness that has testified. A lot of witnesses have corroborated other witnesses' stories, but a lot have been questioned or called into question by the jury. But I think that this whole moment out here is a moment in time. You know what I mean? It's like the OJ trial. You know, everybody that's here passing by, everybody that's doing anything out here, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's connecting, becoming one in some kind of way. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a lot more energy to being out here. So shout out to One Drip Media.